Good morning, you guys. Welcome to another, I guess going to be the first episode of this brand new series in American Plains Money. As you guys can see, this is kind of a little shed that I currently live in. I'm kind of homeless. Well, technically I'm not, but I'm really poor. But I have a plan to get rich and own my own farm and become the richest person in APM. So if you guys are excited for this 10-part series, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and let's get into this first episode. So we have my rusty old truck right here. I used my last $500 I had in my bank account and bought this truck off Facebook Marketplace. But this thing runs like a complete beauty, like brand new. And I have an idea on some jobs we can do with this. So if we come over here to my friend's property, you can see that he owns one of these old lawnmowers that we can use and get some jobs done today. The goal is to make $500 so we can buy a special attachment for my truck and we could get it to start hauling bigger items so we can start making more money. But first we gotta make these $500. So let me hop in my old rusty bucket. Let me turn this thing on and let's make our way to the trailer store, because we're gonna go rent a trailer today, because I do not have a trailer, nor I have enough money to actually buy one, but I do have enough money to actually rent one. So we're gonna go rent it out so we can throw on the lawnmower and we can start cutting some grass down. But with this special attachment that I'm gonna try to buy, is gonna go on the back of my pickup, and then it's gonna give me the ability to haul bigger items and essentially make more money. So I'm really excited to get that thing done. Hopefully we can do that in today's video, because we do not have too much time. Once the sun sets, I cannot work anymore. But look at this, we have quite a selection today. Oh, let's see. All right, so we have this trailer. No, that's too big. Okay, this one's too big. Let me check this one, and this one's a little bit too big as well. But ooh, perfect. Yo, I think we found the perfect one. Okay, so let me get back in my truck and let's get it connected with this trailer. So there we go, and let me spin this thing around. Let me spin the black, carefully connect it. Oh, I missed it by a little bit. Okay, connect it, and there we go. We can now make our way back to, I guess, to my friend's property. I was about to say my home, but it's not my home. So we have got a stop sign, and let's put on our blinkers so we can start making our way back to the place. Alrighty, everyone, we are now back to the property. We're gonna pull into here. Let me just put on my blinkers just like so. And I don't think they work anywhere. Oh my goodness, that's how poor I am. But we're gonna pull this thing right around here. Actually, you know what, I think I can just go down here. Let me just turn on the lights. It is quite dark down here, so I'm gonna park right around here. Let me turn off this bad boy and let's throw down the ramp so we can get this thing unloaded on the trailer. All right, so let me carefully back up. I'm having trouble seeing, so I'm gonna turn on the light. All right, just like so, we're gonna throw this in park, turn off the lights, and we're gonna throw up the ramps back up, and let's get out of here so we can start cutting some grass. I have a couple houses in mind that we're gonna go through and cut their lawns for them, and then lastly we're gonna try to grab a big property so we can make the rest of our money. But look at the time, it is already 10 a.m. I literally just started the video and 2 hours have just flown by. Dude, that is freaking crazy. But I think the houses should be on the right side. Let's quickly check the map just to make sure. And okay, so I am correct, the houses are gonna be on the right side. So let me quickly step on this because we are super short on time. Let's make a huge turn, and ooh, look at that truck. That truck looks super nice. Maybe when I'm rich or I have enough money, I'm gonna be able to get a brand new truck, or at least an upgrade. But look at that, I see the houses in the distance. Dude, I'm so excited. I'm super glad that they got grass on their front lawns and it hasn't been cut yet. So I'm gonna pull over to the side. We're gonna throw on our emergency lights and we're gonna get all of this unloaded. Let me turn this thing off because I do not have that much money for gas. So let's get this thing unloaded from here. Let me hop in and let's get this thing turned on. Mower on. All right, nice. So we can now get this thing to work. Let me just turn off the lights because I don't need them right now. And we're gonna cut the front of this house right here. I don't know if I'm gonna cut the backyard. Ooh, look at that, dude. This looks pretty satisfying. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I think this has got to be one of the most satisfying jobs in APM. Just cutting grass is pretty satisfying. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree or not. But we are almost done cutting this section of the grass. I think we just need like 2 more passes and we should be completely done with this house. All right, we are on the last section and boom, look at that. We are done cutting the front of this house. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Holy moly, guacamole. Look at the edges on this thing. It is super crispy. Ooh, should I cut that section right there? I don't know if I should cut this section right here. I think I should maybe just like trim it from the side. All right, you know what? I'm gonna quickly do that. I'm gonna go above and beyond of my work and I'm gonna cut the sides. Let me actually start from this side right here. I feel like that would be a little bit more easier. All right, let me turn on the mower. It should be on now, and then let's cut this section and boom, look at that. It is looking crispy. All right, so we got that house pretty much done. They're gonna send me the money in a few minutes, but for now we're gonna continue with this house right here. This one looks a little bit bigger, I think. Yeah, I think it is a bit bigger in the front yard. So enough of the yap, let's get to work. I'm gonna turn this thing on. And is my mower on? Oh no, it's not. There we go. Let me turn this thing on, and then we should start cutting the grass on this side, and then we're gonna move and cut the other side as well. But let me, oh, I think there's a giant rock right here, and then let me make a turn, and boom. This is actually my first time cutting grass, so hopefully I am doing a good job, and I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty nice. We do not want HOA to come and start screaming at the owners. So let me cut this section, and then let's turn right here, and we're almost done. I feel like it's a little bit crooked. I might have to fix it just a tad bit. So let me cut it from this side, and then okay, there we go. Hold on, I think I missed a piece right here, so let's get that off. Let's get it off. There we go. Look at that. We got this thing all squared up. Dude, I better get paid a lot of money. If not, I'm never gonna come back to these houses. But let's see, what time is it? Oh my goodness, it's already 1 p.m. Let's go. Let's get this thing loaded back on the back of the trailer. So let me do this just like so. Oop, and let me close this. All right, we got 2 more properties to go, and then I think we should be finished for the day. Let me just turn off my emergency lights, and the house that we gotta go cut should be passing the police station. I think that's where it's gonna be. Let's quickly check on our map, and okay, so it looks like it is going to be over there. I'm gonna kind of step on it because I want to get there on time. I don't want that homeowner to get mad at me. So let's put on the blinkers, and let's make a left turn right here. So I think this is going to be the main road that we have to take. Let me just quickly check, make sure there is no cars coming. And so far we've been paid over $300 plus tips, which is pretty good. We're actually very good on track to making the $500 we need for this special attachment. So we are here at the next property. I guess this is going to be our 3rd property. So let's pull over kind of into their driveway. Hopefully they do not get mad. I'm gonna put on the emergency lights, and let's get this thing unloaded. And look at this. We got a lot of grass to cut, so I'm gonna hop in and let's get this thing cutting. Oh my goodness, this is a lot of grass. But look at that, we can now see the path for their main door because that thing was covered with grass. It was very bad. A good thing they called me because we can now cut and mow their lawn. So we gotta cut this section right here, and we're gonna do a couple more of passes so we can get rid of all of this grass. They have a lot. Let me turn on the lights because I cannot see under here. It is super dark, and I do not want to miss any section because I don't want the homeowners to get mad. All right, so we're gonna cut this section right here. Let's trim the edges, make them sharp like brand new. We just need one more pass, and I think we should be pretty much finished with this house right here. All right, so we are done with that side of the house. I don't know if I should trim the edges. Should I trim the edges? You know what, let's do that. I'm gonna be nice. I want a tip, so let's trim the edges so they can look very sharp and new like so. And let me just turn off the mower, and let's take a look on how this thing is looking. Look at that. Alrighty everyone, I think we are now done with this job, so let's get out of here. We got one more that we gotta go to. This house only paid me $100, so our total budget should be about, let's see, $400. Oh my goodness, you guys, we are so close to hitting our $500 mark. But let's go and make our way to the last job, which is actually going to be right here. We are going to be cutting the grass for the police station. Yep, this is going to be quite a job. So let me pull over right here. Let me turn off the engine, and I'm going to keep the emergency lights on. So let's get this thing unloaded, and you guys know the drill. We're going to cut the entire front lawn of the police station. So let's begin on the other side because it is a little bit smaller, so it's going to be a little bit more easier. So let me get the mower back on, and let's start cutting the grass. Look at that. It's already looking 10 times sharper than it used to look, but oh my goodness, this is so satisfying. We can finally remove all this overgrown grass. Dude, this police station is gonna look so much better. So every time when someone passes, they're gonna see how nice it looks. But oh my goodness, I almost missed a spot right here. Let me get that removed. But we are still good on time. Surprisingly, I thought these jobs were gonna take a little bit longer, but thankfully they have not. We've been crushing these jobs, but we're almost done with this section right here. I think we gotta do one more pass and we should be good. Look at that, we are done with this side, and now we gotta do this gigantic section of the office. So I think I'm gonna do a quick time lapse. So in 3, 2, and 1. And would you take a look at that? We are now done with cutting the grass at the police station. Dude, this actually took a solid minute because I had to go under this tree and the brushes kept hitting my face. So hopefully I am not allergic, because if not, then you guys might see me in the hospital later today. But let's make our way back so we can start making our way back home. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that job ended up paying us $300, which means we are now at $700. We ended up crushing our goal, and we're gonna have enough money so we can buy some gas and some food for the rest of the week. So it's good to know I'm gonna survive. But let's make a left turn right here, and we are now back home. Home sweet home. Dude, I missed home so much. Even though my home is quite small, it is fairly small. Well, I guess very small. You know, it's still something. I'd rather live in here than be homeless. But yeah, things could be a little bit worse, but it's only up from here. But if you guys did enjoy this first episode, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys onto the next one. Peace.